Boom, here he comes. Here comes Speed Racer. He's getting reviewed on our profile. Hi, this is the CK Reviews. I'm Caleb, and this is
Christine.
And today I went to go see Speed Racer.
Yeah, the jerk went and saw a movie without me. How dare you?
Well, you went to go see a movie without me, so it was payback time. I just went, screw it, I'm not going to go see movies with you anymore. I'd much rather sit in there by myself, in the dark.
If this is how it's going to be now.
Yeah, totally. Well, it's not like we watch movies together anyways.
That's true, we really don't. Okay, how was the movie?
Alright, I'll tell you what, I enjoyed about the first 45 minutes of it, and the rest was pretty much headache-inducingly bad. For starters, the Wachowski brothers, and these were the guys responsible for the Matrix movies, or as I like to call it, the good, the bad, and the badass. They're trying so hard to fill this movie with homages to the original anime that they forget to actually make it a movie. Speed Racer feels natural when he's blazing through the racetrack. When he's outside of his vehicle, you begin to realize just how seriously these guys are about making this a live-action anime cartoon, because these performances in this movie are about as good as an English dub, with the only good performances in this movie were by Racer X and Trixie, who did a really good job embodying their original characters. A lot of the performances, though, are uninspiring, to say the very least. For instance, the guy who played Speed Racer doesn't really pour all that much to the role, and I kind of felt like, anybody could have played Speed Racer. You could have pulled any pretty boy off the street, and he could have been Speed Racer. The comic relief, what can I say? There was a chimp. He was incredibly annoying. I don't even think the 10-year-olds in the audience would really find that amusing, let alone genuinely funny. What passes for, humor in this movie is really pathetic, as it was in the original anime, but who am I to complain? The visual style, it switches from being mind-blowingly cool to coma-inducingly bright, with the Coliseum races being pretty cool, and the that race across the desert, which is just terrible. I'm sorry, it was just bad. Also, the story is a bit too heavy-handed, almost taking itself way too seriously at points. It's like they couldn't decide whether to make this a giant piece of nostalgia or a full-blown family drama. It tries doing both, and it really doesn't succeed at either. There are moments, though, I have got to admit, there are moments here where the movie shines, especially in the first 15 minutes and that really, really bitchin' grand finale. I really loved bits and pieces of it, but as a whole, it just didn't click for me. There's one scene with Speed Racer and Racer X pretty much Speed's confronting Racer X on this empty racetrack, which really, it showed me just how special this movie could have been if the directors weren't so preoccupied with just making this a live-action cartoon and were concerned about making it just a movie. So yeah, it basically sucked.
I did mean to ask you, now that you've brought up this coma-inducing brightness, how the CGI was in this movie. Because when I saw the trailers, it didn't look terribly impressive.
But it depends on what you're looking at, because they're intentionally making this movie look very fake. It's have you ever seen Sin City?
I've seen the trailer and I know what you mean. It's
intentionally bad CGI. It's stylized that way,
yeah.
And so I can't really complain. My only problem is that sometimes it's so bright that it literally gives you an ice cream headache. It's so sweet and it's so sugary, you're just like, ugh, just tone it down just a little bit. There's scenes in here where everything's purple and pink and red, and it's drove me nuts, actually. And then there's other scenes where it works really well, for instance the Coliseum races that looked really, really good. I mean, I was impressed by the Coliseum races. There was a few bits in there that gave me the geek shivers, where it went up and down my spine, and I was like, ooh.
Alright, well, what was your overall rating of this movie?
I've got to rate it a 2 out of 5. Because I really loved portions of it, little bits. But the whole movie as a whole really sucked.
Alright, Caleb, one last question.
Okie dokie, I'm all ears.
Did you think Trixie was hot?
Yes, very.